All right, so yesterday we learned about all type of naming when you had lines cut by a transversal. Today we're going to hone in on parallel lines and what's so special when that happens. So we are going to move into section 3.2. So if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then all of these things happen. Corresponding angles are congruent. Alternate interior angles are congruent. Alternate exterior angles are congruent, are equal. Same side interior, those ones are a little bit weird. Those ones are supplementary. So if you think back to a few lessons ago, supplementary means they should add up to 180 degrees. So once those lines are parallel, fun stuff happens. So what's the difference between yesterday and today? So yesterday, I did this. Okay. And I said, hey, what are 3 and 6? Right? You would say 3 and 6 are alternate interior. That's really all you could tell me. Right? 3 and 6 are alternate interior. Even if, let's say I told you the measure of angle 1 was 80. Okay, so the measure of angle 1 is 80 degrees. Well, you could tell me vertical angles. Angle 1 is 80, so angle 4 is 80. You could tell me linear pairs add up to 180, so 1 and 2 should add up to 180. So this one has to be 100, which makes angle 3 100. But that's all you could tell me. Based on what we've learned so far. Now today's stuff, if I tell you these two lines are parallel, so usually they would mark that with an arrow. That tells you these two lines are parallel. Once you tell me those lines are parallel, now we know everything. We know that alternate interior are congruent. So if angle 3 is 100, angle 6 is 100. If angle 4 is 80, angle 5 is 80, right? Alternate interior. We know alternate exterior are congruent. So if angle 1 is 80, angle 8 is 80. We know corresponding are congruent. So if angle 3 is 100, angle 7 is 100. If angle 1 is 80, 5 is 80. So corresponding are congruent. And we know same side interior add up to 180, so notice these 100 plus 80 is 180, and 3 and 5 add up to 180. So once I tell you these lines are parallel, you know so much more information because of all these theorems. So let's try a few. So the first thing I want you to look for is, are my lines parallel? Because that's what's going to take you back to this whole chapter. From here on out, we need to know the lines are parallel. So yes, they're parallel. So we have parallel lines cut by a transversal. These are corresponding, right? Corresponding angles. And I want you to get in the habit of writing what kind of angles they are. Corresponding. So if lines are parallel, corresponding angles are equal. So x equals 118. And yes, guys, there are questions that are this easy. So please, please, please don't overthink it. Here are my lines parallel. Yes, we have those arrows. So we have parallel lines cut by a transversal. I always want you to start with naming. Even in the homework today, name the angles first. So it looks like these are alternate exterior, right? Opposite sides. And then they're exterior. Here's my two lines. Interiors between, exteriors everything else. So if lines are parallel, I know alternate exterior are equal. So x has to be 125 degrees. That's a 5. All right, not too bad, right? They do get a little bit harder. But still the same concept. Make sure your lines are parallel. They are. Let's name our angles. So those are same side interior. Again, another word for that is consecutive interior, so I don't want you to get confused if you hear that, same thing. Remember, these were the weird ones. So if you go back to his slide, the same side, the consecutive interior, add up to 180. They're supplementary. So we're going to come back. These should add up to 180. 13x plus 23x should equal 180. Alright, so we have 13x plus 23x. That looks like 36x equals 180. And then we're going to divide both sides by 36. So 180 divided by 36 gets me 5. And we're just going to stop. We're going to find x in this. And then the last one. So I know this is kind of hard to see, but they're talking about these two angles. So they are talking about these two angles that I provided. All right, so let's start. We see the arrows. So we know we have parallel lines. Parallel lines cut by a transversal. These are alternate interior angles. So we're going to say if lines are parallel, alternate interior are equal. So if they're equal, if they're congruent, set them equal. So 2x plus 10 has to equal 3x minus 15. And then we solve. Let's subtract 2x from both sides. We got 10 equals 3x's minus 2x's, leaves me with 1x. And then we're going to add 15 to both sides. So x equals 25. Now here I stopped and we just found x. In your work today, they're going to ask you for, the directions are going to say find each angle measure. And they're going to list the angle. It's literally right next to the number. So right next to the problem, they're going to say what angle they want you to find. The measure of angle, let's say they said ABD. ABD. So they're going to tell you what angle they want you to find. And the only other step you would have to do is 2x plus 10, right? You would say 2 times 25 is 50 plus 10 is 60. So it's a 60-degree angle. So that's the only difference, is I stopped at x here, but in your work today you're going to have to continue on and plug it in to whatever they ask for. Now, I also want you to understand they could ask for multiple things. They might not always ask for an angle that has something there. They could have asked us for angle DBC, right? This angle over here. DBC, DBC. Which there's nothing here, right? And that's when we have that panic attack. But understand, we just found out this one was 60. So if this one is 60, we know these are a linear pair. They should add up to 180. So this one would have to be 120. So don't forget the stuff you already know. You know, to finding whatever they're asking you to find. Don't forget what you already know. All right. Your homework's posted. Get it done. Make sure you show all of your work. And again, I want to see you naming the angles. So name the angle and then set it up and solve. So I know the directions in the book don't say it, but I want you to actually name the angles. All right, bye guys. Get your work uploaded, get it done, show all your work.